Coming up on Network Africa, the protests become more violent in Kenya as one person dies in the western city of Kisumu. One year after the petrol station blast in Ghana's capital Accra that killed 150 people, it seems all is back to normal. Then one teenage amputee shows nothing can cut short your dreams if you believe. Network Africa starts right now. And welcome to Network Africa. I am Adeshewa Josh. Let's take a look at some of the stories that made headlines over the weekend. Beginning here in Nigeria, where President Muhammadu Buhari is beginning a 10-day leave to attend to his health in the United Kingdom. According to the president's special advisor on media and publicity, the president will be seeing an ear, nose and throat doctor. Mr. Additional says 2 doctors have seen the president but advised him to seek a third opinion as a precaution. About 32 soldiers from Niger and 2 from Nigeria were reportedly killed in clashes with the Boko Haram in Niger. The Niger Defense Ministry says hundreds of assailants attacked a military post in the southeastern town of Bozo on the Nigerian border. A counterattack on Saturday morning allowed government troops to retake all positions in Bozo, and there were several dead and injured on the enemy side. Let's quickly get the latest from Angola, where Angola's Isabel dos Santos, the president's daughter, has been appointed head of state of oil company Songano. Mr. Santos has large stakes in many of Angola's strategic industries, including diamond, banking, media, and telecommunications, with large parts of her business empire based in Portugal. She owns 7% of the Portuguese oil and gas company. A statement from her office said that she wanted to ensure transparency in the management of the company and to improve the Angolan oil sector's ability to compete globally. Now, the International Olympic Committee has unveiled its first team of refugees to compete at Rio 2016 under the Olympic banner. The team of refugee Olympic athletes has 10 members, 5 from South Sudan, 2 from Syria, 2 from DR Congo, and 1 from Ethiopia. The 6 men and 4 women will compete in swimming, judo, and athletics. And now to the latest in Africa. Protests in Kenya have turned more violent in recent days. Just this morning, the demonstrators blocked roads with burning tires and stones to demand the country's electoral body, which would oversee elections next year, step down. Or clashes between protesters and the police have been a regular occurrence, even in the capital, Nairobi. The Red Cross today said 6 protesters in the western city of Kisumu are being treated for gunshot wounds. One local newspaper reported that a protester had been killed and his body used to close the road and also engage police in running battles. It also said businesses in Kisumu have been closed. But the Reuters news agency is reporting that at least 2 protesters have been killed in Kisumu, quoting a spokesman for opposition leader Raila Odinga. Conflicting reports right there. But let's get the latest from Nairobi. We're being joined by editor at the Standard newspaper in Nairobi, Ferdinand Wangela, who will give us the latest. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Network Africa. My first question is, give us a sense of what the day is like right now in Nairobi.
The day today, because the protests are held every Monday, apart from last week when the opposition suspended them. A day like today is true about around Nairobi. The Nairobi city center, because that's where the electoral commission office are located, and practically a no-go zone because businesses came to a standstill. We've had confrontations in different areas. There's a slum area called Kibera, we must call another slum area called Madare, where we have had quite a bit of violence for the day. So today, our movement around Nairobi is quite restricted to essentially necessary movement. So if you do not have to get out of your house, you just stay where you are.
So the protesters have become more violent in the past couple of weeks. Explain to us why this is so.
if you follow the progression of the protest from what they started a few weeks ago, the protesters have become more violent, so to speak. Truth is, different sides are blaming different people for the turn in violence, because when you talk with opposition leadership, they blame the use of government forces, especially that is the police, for the escalation of violence, especially because if you look at the police have used water cannons, they've used smoke, the tear gas canisters, and then remember 2 weeks ago 3 people died. Of course, most of the deaths are blamed on the police. And today, the protest today, I think the reports coming in so far that 2 people have died. But again, there is a lot going on around the country. We don't know exactly the number today because it's not official. But today we've heard that 2 people have died.
Is there a call to the government regarding how to handle protests of this kind, that is, as 2 people are already dead?
That is the question that a lot of people are debating with, because we've heard from the diplomatic community, the clerics, and few organizations who asked the government to sit down on the table and negotiate with the opposition as they are requesting. But at present, the president, speaking last week, said that the Kenya Constitution is very clear on how such problems are to be handled. And essentially that is to present a motion in Parliament. So the government so far is not ready to sit down. According to the president's own words, those will be using extrajudicial, extra-constitutional means, which the president is not ready to do. Last week he said that when he was sworn in as president, he vowed to protect and defend the Constitution. And he said that is what he is going to do. So the protesters, he said so far, is not going to negotiate. If they want any resolution, they have to go through the constitutional means.
So what are the opposition leaders saying about what is going on? Have they said anything to dissuade or encourage the protests?
The opposition leaders today, now speaking of today's protest, they said that over the last few weeks they've been doing the demonstrations only once a week, that's every Monday. And they say that if the ruling coalition does not come to the table in the next few weeks, that those protests will be escalated to several times a week. So we have to know what exactly, because the day is still ongoing. Maybe by the end of the day we'll know any new development. But so far the opposition has said that the protest will go on. And to also remember that earlier today, the court declined to stop the demonstration. It said the demonstrations are constitutionally allowed, and the government is obliged to give security to the protesters.
So much, Ferdinand Wangela there for the latest from Kenya. He is the Standard newspaper editor in Nairobi. Thank you for speaking to us. Humanitarian aid organizations are worried about the rise in the number of bodies recovered on the shores of Libya as migrants try to cross the Mediterranean into Europe. The Red Crescent on Sunday said at least 123 bodies were washed ashore in the western city of Zawara in recent days. Spokesman Alkamis Abosaifi said about 3/4 of the migrants were women, and there were at least 5 children. No documents were found on those bodies, which were partly decomposed by the time that they were found. A local security official said that the migrants were thought to have set off from the nearby city of Sabratha, where a surge in boat departures led to hundreds of migrants' deaths last week. Migrants hoping to reach Italy from Libya pay hundreds of dollars to traffickers for a place in a boat. The vessels are often flimsy and ill-equipped for the journey across the Mediterranean, and the crossing is far more dangerous than that between Turkey and Greece, which was the busiest sea route until a deal to curb flows between the European Union and Turkey came into force in March. Let's take a break on Network Africa. When we come back, Ghana remembers 150 casualties of a petrol station blast that happened a year ago. We'll bring you the latest from the capital, Accra. So stay with us.